Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide you with trusted information for you to use to make decisions. I'm here thinking, wondering each day about some of the things that I've been hearing, and some of the things that I've been socialized to believe, accept, without thinking of them with any form of critical mind. So I want to actually look at one of them today, and that one is a hostile world. We have been taught since childhood, and it goes back to as far as infancy, where we are told that the world is hostile. And because the world is hostile, we're continuously fighting each other to make it to get to the top. Because that is the genre of thinking that we have been given for a substantial number of years. They make the world out to be, and when I say they, I'm talking about those persons who taught us and the social structure, the hegemonic class, that is, who controls knowledge, who controls thinking, who controls much of what we do and hear and speak, as well as interpret the world from their vantage point, even though we think we're doing it from our vantage point. But that's another discussion to have later. No, if it is that the world is at a hostile place, then it means from your birth you have been groomed to fight. You have been groomed to compete. You have been groomed to destroy. You have been groomed to be hostile. Now, I want you to think for a second as to whether this is a good starting base or whether this does not serve somebody's purpose, first of all, this hostile world. And a number of persons would want to use the lower animals in terms of their hostility to speak about what we should do as humans. Now, without thinking in any lengthy period about what I'm going to say, I want to put it forward to you. Animals are by nature, and particularly those animals that are carnivores and herbivores, right? They think differently about things based on how their society provides it for them or nature provides it for them. Animals who eat meat will be hostile to try to actually devour a meat to eat. But animals who eat plants, the herbivores, would they need to be competing against another animal for what nature provides it naturally? There's no need for that. And that's why a number of these animals who are herbivores do not have that level of hostility as the animals who eat meat. So I'm going to take this back now to us as humans. Humans eat meat. And because humans eat meat, and of course we eat vegetables, plants, etc. But substantially, because we eat meat, they take us substantially for the lower animals that eat meat and culture within us to want at all times to be hostile, to fight, to see somebody else as a competitor. And because you see somebody as a competitor, there's always that innate hostility inside of you to try to dominate, to kill, to maim, to destroy, because you want what the person has to actually make it to the top, because that's how you see it in a pure animalistic kingdom sort of way. And that is the carnivore thing. But if you were to actually move out of that and go into the herbivore animal kingdom, you realize that that level of hostility is not there. And even in the animal kingdom that eat meat, there's an understanding among the clan that sometimes, and not even sometimes, many times they don't even fight, except when one who is younger believes or thinks that is now his time to lead, his time to, and then they'll actually have that level of hostility to actually try to lead because of the spoils or the benefits that are associated with leadership. Then one understands that, and that goes without saying in all kingdoms, whether it is the animal kingdom, the low animal kingdom, or the upper animal kingdom. That goes without saying. That's a fact. But I'm saying to you, why is there a need to be hostile? Or why are we taught hostility so much that our primary purpose as beings to live as a result of what we have been taught is to be hostile, to compete, to destroy, or even to belittle another to accomplish or to attain your success. Why is that so? Because fundamentally it suits someone. This lifestyle, this social culture, this normal science that we have been taught definitely is suiting someone for us to be hostile. Because it is because of that cultural hostility why we want to buy guns to kill somebody else. Why would we actually have weapons to destroy somebody else? Because there's an underlying culture, that underlying principle, underlying base that you must protect yourself because the other person is going to try to destroy you. It's an entire psychology of hostility that we have been taught for years, and one that there's no need to be doing, but is a reality that that culture is actually taught to us. How are we going to actually disassociate ourselves from that sort of culture and move into a better culture of harmonious living, harmonious, happy, contented form of living, contented with where you are, contented with the process of actually you're going to make it, and the fact that there is no need to be hostile to destroy another being to be successful. So what we have been taught for years is that the world is harsh, and because the world is harsh, the hostile world that we have been sort of socialized to accept, we're always trying to fight because that is a level of thinking that there is. And if you realize a number of the things they actually use fight and force in it because that is a hostile world that you have been socialized in. The Jamaica Constabulary, force, crime, fighting. There is little or no thought, there's an underlying thought about cooperation and social civility. Hostility is what is out there as the game. Hostility is what they are selling, and that's why they're able to sell weapons and other things because you have been cultured into a hostile environment similar to the animals without even thinking that you are not lower level animals. I want to actually show you a clip of the lower level animal for you to sort of understand what is it that you have been fed for years and how it is that this level of hostility diet that you have been fed, you are no different from the lower animals. Let's look at the lower animals. Remember, we're looking at the animal kingdom and looking at the fact that we have been fed a diet of hostility. Here it is.
These, when lions hunt buffalo, it's like quite a protracted thing.
Mhm.
Okay, lions are running in.
Lions running in.
A world of hostility.
Other stations. I've got one in the Rockcliffe Donger, Charleston Foxhill boundary.
This is the diet that we are fed.
I've got two. The Stations Alliance have got 3 buffalo. Oh, now they've got 1, going back to 3. Yes, I can't get an angle wide enough to get them all.
This is
Jag
what
kan
you're fed
stretcha
every
tusen
day.
faktor band
Fight
rock
for
down
in
it's
this
on the
world,
road.
hostile world.
So they're going to come to his rescue?
They're gonna try. Yes, make away, make away, make away.
Look at this world that you are sold, this hostile world that you have to kill to survive. It's a lower animal instinct world that you have been cultured to accept.
The Stations Alliance have got 2 buffalo. They're
I'm going to
both
have to
in
stop
the
here
Chelsea.
because this is exactly the point I'm trying to actually examine. I'm arguing to you that this hostile world that you are in, that you have been cultured to accept, is one that sees you want to fight, that sees you want to destroy another to survive. There's no need for this level of hostility, this hostile thinking, this cultured social hostility that you have been fed, except it benefits someone. No, because you have been fed a diet of hostility, then you're always going to want gun because you are hostile against the other person. You see the other person as your what? As your oppressor, as your rival. And because you see the other person as your rival and not that we are part of a social cooperative system, then you always want to go into think of protection. And because you always going to want to think of protection, you're always going to need some weapon. Who does that benefit? When you think for a second, when we are sold this world of hostility, who does it benefit? Because a hostile thinking, a hostile mindset is going to have to protect itself, which is exactly what the world is structured around. It's about the selling of weapons, the selling of ammunitions, because it feeds into the diet of an hostile culture. If we were not fed this diet of hostile culture, that is the dominant culture, then there will be no need for us to be having this level of preparedness for war or this level of viciousness among and between people or this level of suspicion of who the other person is and the intent of the other person, and therefore you need to protect yourself. All of that feeds into the culture diet of hostility because they let you accept the lower animal kingdom way of thinking. When are we going to stop? When are we going to see our brother who is not from the same mother or race, just like you are your own? When are we going to understand that the only difference between people is just the color of their eyes and their skin? And we're all trying to be people and to live in this space called Earth. When are you going to recognize this? That we're all one of different shades, which is the only difference between us, unlike at the lower animal kingdom level. There is absolutely no need for hostility, for weaponry, a culture of unforgivefulness, a culture of rivalry. All of that is feeding into an hostile culture. When are we going to break away from this culture? How long can we continue this culture without destroying ourselves? Like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I continue to provide you with more information for you to think. The question I'm asking you, when are we going to stop this culture, this hostile culture that we have been fed and we have come to accept? Is this culture beneficial to us or is it beneficial to someone outside of your space? Think about it. Let me hear your comments. Share this video with someone. I want your comments. Do you see this hostile culture That is the dominant culture of society today. What do you have to say? Let me hear your thoughts.